you want me to go ahead and say, yeah?
What you're all about.
Hey everyone, welcome to the AI Amigos show. Welcome. You're here with Jin Chao and James only again. So Marina is still missing. She's somewhere in the southern hemisphere and she'll be back. I think next week she'll be back with us and join us live. So for those that are new to our show, that are watching, feel free, please subscribe to our show. We'd really appreciate that, number one. Number two, I also want to say that we are sponsored by Tequila AI. So have a look at those guys and see what they're all about.
Yeah.
So today, Jin Chao, we have some interesting topics today.
We do, yeah.
And just thinking about this because, on the first one that we have there is healthcare, and AI battles within healthcare, where we already had, OpenAI already had ChatGPT Health.
Yeah. Okay.
And now Claude's getting into it.
Okay.
So this is interesting.
That's the like really a topic for a long time, right? Since ChatGPT out, we got all different kind of news. Some people using the good and bad, right? Some people says, "I'll use ChatGPT, are more accurate than than doctor." Some people really, I remember the guy was trying to not taking so much salt and replace salt with something actually harm your body, and and that's it has been good and bad in both sides. So yeah, it's interesting to see what does the health or GPT health or GPT doctor do.
Yeah, well, what for me, I'm looking at like when you look at from like your medical records, is our hospitals giving that information. And then, like I just bought myself an Apple Watch, so we got wearables now. So like, where's that all going to be? And all the health apps. So it's going to be interesting. Because all of our medical information, in the U.S. we have HIPAA, HIPAA, which is basically that protects you for privacy for your health records anyway.
Yeah.
But and you look at like, this, okay, it's a wearable, so there's like Garmin, there's Fitbit, there's Google has their own as well, there's Apple's. And, that collects all your data, but it's not a medical device. And it's funny because I was setting it up and it kept telling me that it does not detect heart attacks. It does not detect heart attacks. It was like everything I was setting up is like, do not detect heart attacks. I'm like, well, I never thought this would detect a heart attack. But could AI then use that data and say, hey, you think there is a heart attack or some health issue or such? Can it predict it?
Yeah, I was looking into those wearable stuff before. I know, still Apple is pretty good on that. Even the sleep patterns and all that sort of stuff. My wife uses steps and all that. It's pretty cool. And not many of them out there are okay to compare with Apple. And then Garmin's basically is very good on running stuff. And then I was searching this, so I go along with the what do you call it, Huawei. But the problem is the apps. I have Oppo phone and all that. It doesn't integrate that well. That's the good thing about Apple. Everything integrated so nicely, right? So
well, that's what I live in Ireland, as many of you may know, in Dublin. But I'm originally from Texas, and I'm here in Texas. So I decided to buy it whilst I was here, going into the new year, because my best friend from elementary, he's got one and he's getting really fit, and so he was telling me that how it's really helped him to track all like your heart level rates and blood oxygen and things like that. So I was like, okay, I want to get one. So I went down to Best Buy. You can buy them at Target, Walmart, or directly from Apple. But they're at Best Buy, so I was like, okay, I'm going to get the entry level one. and you know, and you look, and it doesn't have all the additional things that it can detect.
Yeah.
As it jumped from like 299 or 220 $220, $250, $250, $300 to $400. It jumps $100.
Yeah.
I was like going, oh, do I want to go an extra $100? But then you see how much it had. It's like, okay, I want to spend the extra
Yeah.
$100 because later
Yeah.
on I don't want to go, oh, I should have spent $100. I can have more.
Yeah,
So
you have to because the sensors, all that. I did quite a lot of research. It's too much information on this kind of thing, you know. So yeah,
but
you
I
got
did
to.
what you were talking about there because so I jumped onto ChatGPT and I said, look, you know, and I took a picture of the screen where it was comparing the two Apple watches, and I said, is there any other watch within a lower price range that compares with these health vitals that let's call them vitals, if you will, that it has? And it said no, because initially it was like, well, you know, is there one that does this and that? So they're like, it was like the Garmin 3. And I was like, okay, I think I'm going to do with the Garmin 3. It's, you know, it's not as much
Yeah,
more. And then it was like, does it have
yeah,
this?
but
You know,
yeah, Garmin is more to the runners. If you're running, it's pretty good. But like, you know, I don't really run that much. So yeah, and I find the Huawei one. That's the research I did. I find out this is the most kind of capable of that. If you're in Ireland, it's Huawei GT5. It's about like 200 something euro. So which is not bad. But the problem is, you know, you have to download a different app store to get their app, and it's just like if
yeah,
I
yeah.
prefer like iPhone user, just get a watch, iWatch or something.
Lastly, I'm an iPhone user as well and integrate it
Yeah.
very well and easy. And that was the other point of it as well. But, you know, like all of that data it's collecting, you know, who's that viewing that data and, you know, and going like, you know, do I want Claude or do I want, you know, going back to what we were talking about OpenAI, do we want
Mhm.
using this? And what if there's hallucinations? Then what? You know, what if it tells you something and it's not right because it's not a doctor?
Yeah, and I was wondering, like, do they sell the data as well? You know, so like I recently just quit smoking, and then like this is the thing. If you wanted to have health insurance, if you don't smoke, you have to be not smoking for at least 2 years to identify as not smoking. That was that long.
Identify.
Yeah, you can't really tell them I don't smoke. When did you quit?
Yeah.
Like what, 13 days or 16 days ago? No, it has to be quit smoking for 2 years, and then you actually risk of heart disease and all that uh, will be normal as everyone else. And so that's the kind of the data. Maybe you can see this person, like, is it, you know, and like, is it has a risk of heart disease, or is it lying about smoking or not? You know, maybe there's something there, but just hopefully they don't sell our data.
Well, there's that. And also, I mean, you know, it's nice to have these wearables, but they're not medical devices.
No, no, definitely
You
not.
know, and like I was saying, like I was putting the stuff in there and I was like interested to see like what vitals it takes. So it takes your like your wrist temperature, it takes your pulse, it takes a few other hey.
That's 6, 7. Yeah.
It takes all of that information, but you know, like I was saying, it was just saying like, oh, it's not a medical device or not. Sorry, can't detect heart attacks. I'm like, all right, fair enough. I mean, I wasn't buying. I don't have heart disease that I'm aware of, but there was nothing in there that I was worried about that. But you
Mhm.
know, going back, you know, with both Claude and OpenAI, and I'm sure others are going to get into this. I'm sure Google's going to get into it. I'm sure Apple's going to get into it. But it's becoming a real battleground for vertical AI dominance. You know, they really want to get into that, and really, whoever wins doctors and hospitals wins the whole healthcare data ecosystem. You know, who is doctors going to endorse, or who is doctors going to say, yes, this is a good one to get, a good wearable. You know,
Mhm.
don't know of any doctor at this time that does those kinds of things, but you know, I'm sure it's coming.
Yeah, and also we talk about this AI war at the moment now. Everyone, including um, is become a kind of power, um, kind of all different company compete for power now. It's not just Nvidia and GPUs, right? It's
Mhm.
becoming who has the power to run those GPUs. And I just know the fact I just read the news like Grok, they didn't they put in their site that's like from the building to connect or running in 4 months or 5 months time, which is crazy
Yeah.
because they said that in US you couldn't even get permit to actually connect to the electric to the site that quick. And then turns out the Elon had those kind of remote power station on site to actually
Yep.
generate the power for that straight away. I mean, it just competing of that. If you can put it on, let your grog all that running half an hour early, you can the little bit gas money to produce electricity. That's like pennies for that. That's just how they're competing now. All the different company are looking for different energy source, right, for their data center, especially hungry, a kind of power hungry GPU for AIs.
It's quite a bit, yeah. And I mean, really, I think if we talk about that, I mean, there's even global dominance where you have like the U.S. and China and other countries
Hmm.
that are competing to have AI. And the
Hmm.
biggest thing is do you have the infrastructure for
Yeah,
energy? Because it's consuming mass amounts of energy.
yeah. And then, do you know the funny things is like right now? I remember a couple of years back, everyone is talking about Bitcoin, about how evil Bitcoin is, using so much electricity and all that.
Mhm.
And then, now GPU is the same thing, but nobody really making that big wave as Bitcoin, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just don't do that,
Not yet,
because
anyway. Not yet,
yeah,
anyway.
well, yeah, that's true. But like before, it was like Bitcoin is the first thing you're digging out is using so much electricity and stuff. So
Well,
yeah.
speaking of finance, there, Jin Chao, is a good segue to our next topic that we want to talk about,
Hmm.
which is we've approached the not the problem, but we've discussed the valuations of AI from a bubble point of view because that's a lot of talk about that. But one thing that we had discussed earlier and you were talking about was Tailwind's CSS and how
Yeah,
they're dying from popularity.
yeah.
So what they laid off, how much they lay off? How many people they lay off?
Well, it's good a bit. I don't know the exact number, but this is interesting because when we're talking about LLM, when it came in, we say, "Oh, AI going to replace people's jobs and all that," right? The company really we see the this get interacted or get disturbed by the AI was what do you call the company Stock Overflow, right? So that's the kind of the go-to place for people to searching for uh,
Coding.
yeah, coding issue, not just
Yeah.
coding infrastructure. If I have some issue, there's somebody had a question, there's someone answered. That's your go-to places to find out. If you're searching on the Google, most likely first two or three will direct you there, right? So that was the first company. I would just since ChatGPT was out, that traffic to that side is plummet to
Yeah.
like very little, right? And especially after the IM can actually do the search now. I hardly even go to Google now. The time I go on Google was is now, right? Is when I ran out of credits into the search. So Google has this AI answer bit you can select. That's where I go to
Well,
search in Google.
I was going to say, I mean, I just updated my Google Chrome, and I noticed there now in the top right-hand corner
Yeah,
is a Gemini button that wasn't there
yeah,
before. So
yeah.
Google is definitely, doing some stuff there. But yeah, going back to what you're saying, I
Yeah.
saw their Tailwind CSS, their revenues are down 80%. 75, they laid off 75% of their workforce. So 3 out of 4
Uh-huh.
engineers were let go. The traffic is down 40% since 2023.
Yeah.
But usage, this is the weird thing. Usage is at an all-time high.
Yeah,
75 million
that's the
downloads
thing,
a month.
right? Because I think this is a perfect example of how the AI kind of destroy your business by using your technologies, right? Right. So
Yeah.
their pricing model is basically their CSS templates and all that is really modern, really nice. Everyone use it, but it has a kind of entry point. It's not easy to use, right?
Yeah.
So they have a lot of documentation to go through. And then at the end, if you don't want to do it, you can buy the template and buy those already made from them. Okay. So that was their how they make money. You can buy a
Their bread and
template,
butter.
buy a bundle by 199 or something. I know, like there is a pricing package 199, different package, maybe different pricing, right? But now is the AI. I don't mind. The AI can read through all the documentation and produce the code, the vibe coding using their package and left and right. Doesn't even pay a
Yeah.
penny of the information.
I mean,
So
they basically it's generating the Tailwind CSS code directly, so you
yeah,
don't even have to
yeah,
go to visit their website and documentation.
yeah.
It just basically, where they advertise like $300, 299 or something like that,
Mhm.
to get their UI component packages. Now it's basically the AI does it, and but I mean, equally, it's like more usage equals less revenue. That is
Yeah.
so weird.
That's wild, isn't it? And then it's also it's kind of interesting point as well, James, because for us to learn things, what I learn and what you learn, we have different entry point, and
Yeah,
everybody has to learn one by one, right? To learn to use Tailwind. But the problem for LLM is, or not the problem, a good point is, once it knows, at all of them, just the console, just the kind of entry point, they all know. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah,
because you know the tailwind now, whatever you do now in the LLM is already know. It doesn't need to buy a package, not even once. Do you know what I mean? For all the consoles. And
yeah.
that was kind of the thing I remember Elon Musk was talking about. Like that's the scary point of the AI. Like if one day AGI will be there, it just suddenly there you go. Everyone knows. Kind of like, that kind of wake up moment, Skynet
Yeah.
moment, right? The same as auto kind of like their autonomous driving as well. For there might be some moments suddenly every
So
car can drive.
does that mean that the way our economy works is going to change? I mean, because that's what I mean. The way the economy is working, and that's where like Elon was talking about that. In
Mhm.
regards to like, because if our what we're talking about here is intellectual property, where intellectual property,
Yes,
someone does,
yes,
all of a sudden it's known by everyone. Uh,
yes.
Before, because you would intellectual property, you patent it, you get royalties, and you would live off of that, and that's how then it would incentivize others to then go and do something like that because they as well, like for me, if I went and did it, I would say yes, I want to be incentivized, I want to figure something out and make money and live off of that. Where now it's kind of like, well, you made it up, well done, you came up with this, but now everyone knows, and you get nothing. you know.
Yeah, I think a company have specific have to think about their plans, have to think about income source against AI, right?
Yeah.
Are they proved to be defensive enough to defend the AI about their income stream? Like Tailwind just explained perfectly. You have the knowledge, you have the IP, just because the way you're using your income is set up, appeared to be very good before, but the AI age just completely changed your income source, and maybe you needed to think about a different way to do that. I haven't thought about like a good way against AI, how to get our audience can see what we can do
Yeah.
and make money. So
McKinley's saying we can bring back extinct animals. I don't know why. So
yeah,
yeah.
I don't think it's here anymore.
No.
But yeah.
And he's got the 6'7", 6'7".
Yeah,
Yeah.
6'7". That's I have to ask my son what does 6'7" mean.
Nobody knows what 6'7" means. I've asked here, like I see people doing it all the time. I ask, It's just a thing, 6.7.
Yeah, just kind of so. I think it's the same. It's coming out from the rapper. They were saying 6.7, 6.7. Just kind of so means. That's what I understand. I could be completely wrong here.
I've asked too, Jin Chao. I've asked too, man, and I get the same answer. Like, well, it just doesn't really mean anything. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's interesting, seeing this because a lot of people use Tailwind CSS. I was looking, Netflix uses it, NASA uses it, GitHub. There's a lot of people that use it, and all of a sudden, that's all going to go away. You know, meaning like, well, who's going to come in their place? But I guess if they wind up going bankrupt or because they're being used more than ever, what happens then? And I see here the founder of the company says traffic to our docs is down 40% from early 2023, despite Telegram being more popular than ever. The docs are the only way people find out about our commercial products, and without customers, we can't afford to maintain the framework. So
yeah, it has to change slightly, just like Linux, right? There is you can sell your support. What they're doing is basically self-support, and it's perfectly okay before, but they have to change it now. The a similar business might get distracted as well. Like in Linux industry, there is it's called Red Hat, right?
Red Hat, yeah.
Because Linux is free, but Red Hat is cellular support. But a lot of people going for that instead of going for the open source version of, let's say, Ubuntu or all that, right? So maybe you could do that now. And CentOS is exactly the same as Red Hat, just without the support, without the commercial support. So with the help of LLM, everything can be pretty simple now these days. So I would say those company self-support might get distracted, from their income sources, just because
how are they going to do that? Obviously that's something for them to figure out. But just thinking, like, how are they going to do that? To try to stay alive. But obviously AI is making it easier for us to use their product, and the usage is skyrocketing, but it's not bringing them profits. Basically the revenue's collapsing and it's bypassing their monetization. How they monetize their product. So, and if they can't afford to maintain a product that everyone depends on, what's going to happen?
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't think of a good example of how to make money if I'm them, but I think they should change the pricing model to slightly different. And I think that people still wanted to still want the support, but just different kind of support, maybe more premium or something. Yeah, you know.
Well, I mean, if they're going to need it, then how are they going to do? If we all need it, how are we going to do? How are they going to do it? Obviously, people are using it, as I said, more than ever. But how? Yeah, I mean, someone has to be paid to maintain it, to keep it. So then the question is, if they wind up going bankrupt, who's going to then support their products? So there'll be a product out there that's popular, but no one's going to be supporting it.
Yeah, and they could look into become part of the SEO inside the LLM, right?
Yeah.
This is information coming out from here, and they have the support. You can buy it. Stop asking me questions. I won't give it to you. Buy their products.
Yeah. It's death by AI, Jinchao. Death by AI.
Yeah. I really don't know, but yeah, they're kind of, because they set a standard so high, everyone has the same knowledge, right? That's the thing. Because before we don't have that. Before it could be you Google it, and different people like you and me to understand the problem. How we understand it is different as well. For example, people speak English and can understand it maybe better than me when I was looking into a problem when I'm not speaking very well English. So it depends on. So how we understand the question is different. But now is you can ask in any language, it will tell you. If it knows, it will tell you exactly the same.
Yeah.
It probably won't. If you're better at asking a question, one or two question, or if you're not good at ask hundreds, but you will get the answer. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Yeah.
suddenly everyone is the same level. So it's a weird position.
It is a very weird position. I mean, and yeah, it's be interesting because I'm sure this is not going to be the first or the last. There'll be
Yeah,
more, and how this is going to be handled is going to be quite interesting.
yeah. I mean, just the thinking about it as well, like the vibe coding we're talking about, right? There's a bad side of it. People are really just asking, oh, creating this, creating that, and creating the whole solution, right? It doesn't
Mhm.
really giving you much to do. But if people really dig into it, they're gonna get better, right? Oh, the first time I created a shit, oh, why you deleted database? Maybe next time I shouldn't see that. They start picking up those IT knowledge during the time. It's just different learning methods, right? And then open the totally different doors for people. Like there could be like front end before, and I could create something on back end. I can create a whole application now because I don't know how to code back end before, but I understand the piece of it. I understand what I needed. I just can't
Yeah.
code. But now this kind of person all become full stack now. And we're talking about people don't have the knowledge, but has use cases. They can start from so many iteration of error, try and error, try and error. They're gonna pick up a lot of IT skills pretty quickly as well.
Well, I mean, it definitely, and you can ask it to explain it to you and understand how it
Mhm.
works, but I think a lot of people too, Jin Chao, they just like they don't care. They're just like just write me the code.
Okay. Okay. So maybe not.
I'm just saying some people are like that, that they don't care. Like just make me the. I don't care.
I don't care.
So yeah,
Next year.
you
Yeah.
know. So
All
we'll
right.
leave it at there. Interesting conversation, interesting topics. We had two of them: healthcare and you know what AI is doing to certain organizations, and we'll see because particularly with that being essential. But next week we'll be back. I'll be broadcasting that this time from back in Dublin,
Mm-hmm.
and I would expect that Marina would be back with us next week as well. So with that, just I want to remind everyone that click and subscribe to our show. And second and last but not least is that we are sponsored by Tequila AI. So with that, have a great evening, and we will see you guys next week. Thanks, and ciao. Thanks, everyone.
Bye now. Bye bye.